Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we'll take a look into Thymeleaf selection expressions. Well, selection expressions are just like variable expressions, except they will be executed on a previously selected object instead of the whole context variables map. For example, if you look at the code snippet over here we have selected a object by using th:\object Thymeleaf attribute, and here we are using selection expression to access the selected object attributes. For example, here we are using syntax star within a curly braces. We are passing model object attribute, that is name, email, role, gender. Okay, selection expressions are just like variable expressions, except they will be executed on a previous selected object. So in this example, this user model object is a previously selected object using th:\object Thymeleaf attribute. Alright, so whenever you want to use selection expressions, first you need to select the model object using th:\object, and then you can access that model object attributes by using selection expression. Okay, and here is the syntax for selection expressions like star within a curly braces. We just need to pass a model object attributes. Okay, so let's go and let's see how to use selection expressions with an example. So let me go to IntelliJ IDEA, and let's first of all create a handler method. So go to user controller, and within user controller we will define the handler method. So here let me write the comment handler method to handle selection expressions. Okay, so let's write the method public, and then let's give return type of the method is string, and let's give a method name as selection expression. Perfect. Next, let's annotate this method with @getMapping annotation to handle HTTP GET request with the URL selection-expression. Perfect. So whenever we hit this link in the browser, then this handler method will get called, and this handler method will return the model and view. So here we can write the complete URL like http localhost :8080/ and then this selection-expression. Okay, whenever we hit this link in the browser, then this handler method will get called, and this handler method will return the model and view. Okay, now just pass a model to this method as a parameter. Next, we are going to store the user model object in a model. For that, let's create a user object over here. User equal to new user, and then pass name as a Ramesh and email as a ramesh@gmail.com, and then role as a admin, and then gender as a male. Perfect. Now we have created user model object. Next, let's add this user model object to the model. So let's have model, and then let's call its add attribute method, and then pass user as a first parameter and actual user model object as a second parameter, and then let's return the view, and let's give view name as selection-expression. So here I am using this naming convention in order to demonstrate the relevant topic. Now we have created handler method. This handler method returns a model and Thymeleaf template view. Next, let's create this Thymeleaf template view and then display this model data. So let me go to templates folder. Within that, let me create a HTML file, and let's give name as a selection-expression, and let's design the HTML page. So let's give title as selection expressions. Next, let's define the XML namespace for this HTML page. So go to HTML element, and here let's type XML namespace, and then :th equal to http, and then www.thymeleaf.org. So in order to use Thymeleaf syntax in this HTML file, we have to define XML namespace for Thymeleaf at the beginning of this HTML page. Next, go to body. Within the body, let's print the user model object using selection expressions. So here let me have a s2 element to just create a page heading. So let me give page heading as a selection expressions demo, and then let me have a s2 element, and let's give a heading as a user details. So we are going to print user details, hence this is the heading. Next, let's have a div. Alright, And in order to use a selection expressions, we have to first define the selected object, isn't it? And in order to define the selected object, we have to use th::object Thymeleaf attribute, and then we can use a variable expression in order to point to the model object. So in our case, model object is user, and this user basically comes from the user controller. Well, if you go to user controller, we have a selection expression handler method, and within this handler method we have model, and within this model we have a user as attribute name and actual user model object as attribute value. In order to access this user model object, we can use this attribute name, right? So that is what we are doing here. We are using variable expression to access user model object. Next, we can use a selection expression to print user model attributes. For example, user model class has name, email, role, gender, right? So let's use selection expressions to access this user model object attributes. So let's go back to selection expression.html file, and within this div, let's have paragraph element, and then let's first print the username. For that, name colon, and let's use strong HTML element, and within that let's use th::text Thymeleaf attribute. Next, let's use a selection expressions, that is star, within curly braces just pass a model object attribute, that is name. Okay, so if you can notice here, the syntax for selection expressions star within curly braces, we just need to pass model object attribute. For example, user is a model class, it has attributes name, email, role, gender. So these attributes we are passing to the selection expressions, isn't it? Next, let's print a user email, and then HTML strong element, and then th::text, and then selection expression, that is star within a curly braces, and then email. Okay, so here the previously selected object is user model object, it has attribute email. Next, let me copy this and paste it over here, and let me change from email to role, and let's pass a role attribute to the selection expressions. Next, let me copy this and paste it over here, and here let me change from role to gender, and let's pass a model object attribute, that is gender. Perfect. Now we have used a selection expression to access selected model object attributes. Okay, now let's go and let's run the Spring Boot application, and let's see the demo of these selection expressions. So let me stop the server and let me start the Spring Boot application again, and our Spring Boot application is up and running. Let's go to browser, and here we need to pass the URL selection-expressions and hit enter, and there we go, selection expressions demo, and we have printed a user details by using selection expressions. I hope you understood how to use selection expressions in a Thymeleaf templates. In next lecture we will see Thymeleaf message expressions. Alright, great, I will see you in the next lecture.